This is the Creative Spirits Podcast. I'm your host, Cheryl Benji. Thank you again for joining me. Today is a really beautiful episode all about love and creativity. Since it's Valentine's Day, this is a special episode. And I decided I wanted to interview Tannaz Talasazan again, who is a licensed psychotherapist for the past 10 years, who works with families and children. And she is amazing. And our conversation was so inspiring and beautiful. I really feel you're going to take a lot away at the end of this. And this is a two-part series. So please stay tuned for the second part. It is really wonderful. I mean, we lost track of time with our conversation. So I hope you get a lot out of this. And I love her dearly. She's a wonderful human being. And I do feel you will feel the love yourself after listening to this. So please stay tuned.
How are you?
Hi, good morning.
Good
I'm
morning.
very well. How are you?
Great. I'm doing good. I wanted to bring you on again to celebrate Valentine's Day and love and
Happy Valentine's
creativity.
Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy rainy Valentine's Day.
Yes,
There's a beautiful rain out there.
it's romantic.
Yes.
I remember we talked a lot about creativity and relationships, and you're a therapist. So I thought I would bring you on again. This is our second interview together, and I'm so happy to have you here
Very excited.
again. Yeah, our last one was really good, and yeah, I want to do this one more time and give our audience some great advice. I thought of this question on love and bringing creativity into our relationships. Tell our audience, through your experience and lens as a therapist, the importance of creativity in our relationships. Like, what's the advantage of bringing in that creative process, and how we can improve our relationship with the person we're with through creativity.
Mhm. Well, first of all, thank you for having me again. It's a pleasure being here. I love and I'm so excited about this. And to answer that question, I feel that you become creative in your relationship when you genuinely care about the relationship, when there's actually a genuine love in the relationship. So, like, before even going through talking about how to be creative, I'm going to just shift us kind of back to the love between the two people. Hopefully, it's a genuine love and that they have for one another, which also begins with the person loving him or herself first before even entering a relationship. When one person wants to enter any serious relationship, there's a lot of things, a whole process of things that need to be done before even entering a relationship, before getting to a point where then you become even creative in your relationship. What's important is for a person to be so aware of him or herself even before entering any relationship, knowing who you are as a person, your strengths, your weaknesses, your likes and dislikes, whatever happened throughout your childhood, whether or not you are aware of them, which is then at that point, I feel therapy becomes an important thing to really going through everything you've been through in your life, the things that bothered you, the things that you enjoyed, and really understanding where you are as a person first, being confident about yourself. And what I mean by confidence is definitely a confidence that doesn't have any insecurities behind. Um, by all means, I don't mean any, God forbid, narcissistic confidence or any show off confidence, showing that you're confident, but inside you're not. You're very insecure and fragile inside. These are things that you genuinely and in all honesty with yourself, you need to know before you even enter a relationship. When you are a confident person, you genuinely feel happy inside, you genuinely feel that you are complete, you know your weaknesses, you're not afraid of showing your weaknesses, you're proud of your strength, and you're certainly not afraid of showing your strength and your positivities as well, then you can allow yourself to enter a relationship and really also checking to make sure that the relationship you're in is one that can be of a long-term relationship, a very productive relationship. And when you are in that relationship, then, and because of the fact that you've already done the work, you already do value yourself as a person, and you already value what is yours, and you care about what is yours, then that relationship that you chose to be in becomes valuable for yourself because it's yours. And again, you value what is yours, and you want to take care of what is yours. And so, life becomes repetitive, life becomes ordinary. We fall in love and we enter relationships, and then you just live your normal life, your day-to-day life, going to work every day, taking care of the kids, this, that, the other, and you're on a repeat. Every day you continue doing it, and you get tired or exhausted, or you, like I said, do repetitive things over and over again, even if trying to hang out together becomes repetitive. Like we mentioned, I think last time we said, when people want to hang out and spend time together, they keep going to restaurants, they keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. And that's at that point, then that's when you become creative and you allow creativity enter to your relationship. And the genuine love that you have for one another really motivates you to become creative together. When two people love each other, and like I said, when you value yourself and what is yours, you don't mind taking care of it. You want to take care of it. You want to become creative and better. And then there are lots of ways you can become creative. If you don't want to keep going to restaurants, going for walks, cooking together, taking art classes with Cheryl Benji, and really discovering that area that I know everybody has in them. They just have to find it and let it flourish. Taking pottery classes. There are so many ways of becoming creative together if this bond, this love between you is genuine, and you definitely cherish it and you value it and you want to take care of it, then sky's the limit. There are so many different ways of becoming creative.
I want to address something you said earlier is having that love that's real and love for yourself. I feel many get um, in a relationship with someone or get married for reasons outside of themselves, like because society tells them it's time to get married, or there's pressure, and they get they get the feelings maybe mixed up of what they should really do. And then they may look for someone else for that love and validation. And you brought up the confidence. Having that confidence, I feel like that can be lacking, uh, and so many, and myself too, when I was younger, I had that lack of self-awareness and confidence. And as I got older, it got better and better. And so I think those are great points you bring up. And also learning to bring those creative aspects into your love life. How can you do that? There are so many ways, but we do get lost in the repetitive motion of the same thing over and over again. Like my husband and I, we try to take trips with just him and I, where we are able to bond, just the two of us, even if it's like a trip, you know, an hour away, an hour and to Laguna
That's
Beach,
wonderful. Hmm.
like just for a weekend trip away. Now the kids are a little bit older. We're able to do that. When they were younger, it was, a lot more challenging, obviously. But that's been something that has been able to spark this youthfulness again into our relationship, our love life that we used to have, that we're like, oh, this was what it was like, because you forget, especially after having kids,
Sure.
what it's like to be, just with your partner and not with all the distractions of everyday life and your kids. And so I wanted to ask you, what is your definition of love? What makes a bond stronger?
First of all, more power to you and your husband.
Thank
It's
you.
beautiful that you do that. And you mentioned people may not be as confident when they are younger, but then when they get older, hopefully they get more confident. There are many people in older ages that are still lacking that confidence. And it's never too late to become confident and get that confidence through working on yourself. There's always room for progress for everybody. And it's true that when you genuinely put the time for yourself to get to that level, then you open up room for love and to love yourself and to love others and to give to others, and as a result receive as well that love. A definition of love is truly, for me, it's wanting to do something for someone the way they would like it to be done, not the way you want it to be done. When you know doing certain things will make them happy,
Mm. So
and you,
selflessness, like,
yeah, selflessness, absolutely. You, as much as possible, even go out of your way to make it happen for them. The result at that point doesn't really matter, whether or not you're able to reach that goal. It's the effort that you're making into making that person get what they want. at the end. And your partner will see it, will see that effort, and will appreciate it if there's a genuine love between the two of you. And chances are that love between you will be a genuine love when you see that effort, when you see that your partner is truly making that effort into making you happy.
Yeah.
That's love, in my opinion.
I wanted to interject here again with an example of my life and how I've seen like my husband do things for me that he does not like. I love going to exhibits, art exhibits, obviously, being an artist.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not his thing, but
Mm-hmm.
he comes from like I'll ask him, "Hey, do you mind if we go to my friend's art This was just last week. It was a date. We do Thursday night date nights usually. And he said, "If it makes you happy, yes, I will come." And just him saying
That's
that,
it.
like, that's all I needed instead of,
That's
"Oh,
love.
do I have to?" And I've been guilty of it myself where he'll be like, "I want to go, to this event." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, do I have to? Like, I don't know anyone there." And then I stop myself and I say, "Okay, how would he have reacted or how would I react if he said that to me?"
Mm-hmm.
And it would hurt my feelings. So
Mm-hmm.
I put that aside and say, okay, yes, I will go for you. And we end up having a great time. And um, so I see the benefit of doing that thing for your partner that maybe you don't want to do, or it just doesn't sound too enticing, or exciting, but then you do it and then you end up having a great time. It's just like when we go, him and I will go on like these tours when we travel places. And I'm into like the art tours and he's into architecture tours. And I will go with him, even though when we first started doing that, I was like, oh, whatever. But now I'm like interested in it because it's a work of art.
Mm-hmm.
Like I see it as a work of art.
Sure.
So, I feel like converging our, your worlds helps with that love and making that bond even greater rather than seeing them as differences and oh we're just different and you go do your thing, I'll go do my thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm. Or I know partners that one person likes to listen to this kind of music and the other person likes to listen to another kind of music. And it's okay that you have differences. Accept each other for who you are. And again, before you enter that relationship, make sure that you are okay with those differences.
right,
Because if you're not okay with it, then it's not going to work.
right. I think people go in a relationship
And
thinking they'll change, they can
or
change.
that they will change others. Oh, I'll change this person or I'll change that person. No, you're not going to change anybody.
Yeah,
You can't change anybody unless they really want to work on themselves and change themselves, things about themselves. But knowing that you have differences and you are okay with those differences, as long as you accept them and cherish them. I like this music and he likes that music. I wouldn't have listened to that music unless he would play it. But now that I'm listening to it, I can appreciate it or just control myself for 2 seconds so that he can enjoy it.
right.
It really, it's definitely a dance,
Mm-hmm.
like a tango. And when you think about it in a positive way, then you can make it work as long as there's that genuine bond inside between the two of you. And again, more power to you and your husband. That's it. That's genuine love. You guys are are a great example of what true love is. It's nothing extraordinary. This is it. This is it. Being there for one another and really wanting to give to
Right.
one another.
And it didn't happen overnight. Like there's
Sure.
trial and error and disagreements. And I'm not saying like we have it all figured out. We really don't. But it's just,
Nobody does.
yeah, it's just going on this journey together and figuring it out along the way, and even getting marriage therapy, and you know, seeing other couples who are successful. What are they doing? You know, what are
Mm-hmm.
they doing different?
Sure.
Um,
Exactly.
so yeah, it's a process, and I
Sure.
feel like you learn along the way.
It's a process, and as long as you, again, that word value comes to my mind a lot. You chose to marry each other. You are in it now, and you have children, and you want to set an amazing example for them as well. And as long as you're aware of that, and you're just responsible adults that see that, then you make it work, and you become creative, and you make it work, and you make it work, and you make your partner happy, and your partner sees that and appreciates that, and then they do something to make you happy, and there goes that spark. You feel that spark, you feel that genuine love, and you just go on
And don't
with
you
your relationship.
and I have this question for you. Don't you think that we should make more special like events together rather than, oh, it's Valentine's Day, so now I'm going to go out of my way to take you out to dinner and get you flowers? And why can't there be times where just out of the blue you can give your partner a card with a sweet note in it? Or like when you're dating, I feel like there's that courting process, and it
Mm-hmm.
ends once you have them. It just stops. And that is, to me, the killer. Like, why? Like, why don't we keep continuing that courting process throughout
Yes,
time together? Why does that die down?
exactly. I always say, just like you have to pay your bills, just like you have to make sure your kids get to school on time, your relationship with your partner should be and must be as important. I always recommend having date nights at least once a week. Some people listen, some people don't, unfortunately, but it's important to have that. And date night doesn't mean something crazy. It could just mean going for a walk together,
We've done that. We've done that. And we just go like maybe grab a coffee, or, very simple
just
thing.
checking in with yourselves. Yeah. It literally could be anything. You can spice things up in your sex life,
Yeah.
taking a shower together. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, anything, going to the backyard and
100%.
sitting on the couch and looking at the stars.
Mhm.
Literally anything, just sitting there watching TV. As I know, a lot of people with small children really don't get that
Yeah.
time even.
Yeah.
So
And they're just
making that
exhausted at the
even
end of the
happen,
night.
watch a movie or a show for half an hour to an hour and then go sleep. The point is for you to be together. The idea of soulmates, for example, when y one person is not complete without the other one, and when you get married or when you're in that serious relationship, you become one.
Yeah.
and become one. Be one. Don't look at your partner as a different person, although it's important to respect boundaries in any relationship. Looking at your partner as you. Would would I do something to hurt myself? No, hopefully not. So I wouldn't do that to my partner because I know that will hurt them. And then listen, that's all people want. Everybody wants to feel that they are being seen or understood. And when you become that selfless person, when you go out of your way, for example, when your husband goes to that art show with you, what else do you really want? I mean, this is it. You feel that love. You you see it and you feel it, and then that becomes your life. That becomes everything you need. So I truly recommend that when people want to go into a relationship to check in with themselves to make sure that they are ready for that serious relationship and that it's not about them only anymore. And when you can have room for another person, then you make it work.
So you gave us some creative ideas for couples, to do when they go on date nights. Um, and I have a few, and you could add to this as well. Something Bobby and I have loved to do is go on food tours. That's
Oh,
been, yeah,
that's
that's
fun.
been something, because we enjoy food and we like trying different, especially when we travel. So that's a really fun thing that,
That's really fun.
yeah, that we've done together. And it just depends on what your, likes are. Like, what is it that you
Interesting.
enjoy? Like, some people are more adventure seekers. Like, we've done hot air balloon rides
Mm-hmm.
together, like, parasailing, or, there's things you can do, I feel like, that will increase that adrenaline rush. I mean, if you ever watch like these dating
Sure,
shows, you see, what do they do on them? They do these like very adventurous and fun, out of the box type of experiences, and it makes
sure,
them have more of a bond.
sure.
Yeah,
That's why they have those activities out there for you. It's not just a business. It is, but they're just ways for you to get creative to kind of maintain that relationship and keep it going. Sure. I love
absolutely.
the food tasting.
Yeah, I highly
That's
recommend
such
it.
a great idea.
Yeah. So fun. And we've done it with the kids too. But it's fun when we just do it because, we'll try more, different things. The
Hmm.
kids are pickier. But even, for other couples, or like we've also done a pottery class together, and that was a lot of fun. And, I've had couples in my class who have done art night, and I see, the bond they have together, and the way, it's not even about the process of creating the masterpiece or whatever. It's just, you see them laughing and, having conversation,
Together.
creating that
Hmm.
bond through something different, rather than
Sure,
like you said, going to a restaurant, which that's great too. I feel like if you
sure,
can do that date night, that's important. But
sure.
yeah, what other recommendations do you have that's like kind of out of the box? It's a little different that you would like tell one of your, clients.
I love pottery. And I mentioned it, you mentioned it, I'll keep mentioning it. It's so much fun. Literally could be anything. It all depends on your interests.
Yeah.
My husband loves stargazing.
Uh,
So I he has telescopes, and he just loves anything in that aspect. And so I would then suggest going to stargazing tours. Once we went to Hawaii, and we've been up this road. It was called Road to Hana,
Yeah, I've
I
been on
think.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it kind of became a foggy night, so you really couldn't see much, but we had a glance of the Milky Way,
Oh, wow.
and it was beautiful. And it just comes to also tell you how huge this universe that we live in is, and how small we are. And so my point is, then you don't make a big deal out of little things anymore. And just looking at that will motivate you to want to become more positive in your relationship, more creative in your relationship, and making it work for you, for your partner, for your children. Other things are cooking classes.
Yes, we've done
There
that.
are cooking classes
That's so much
that
fun.
there's out there. I love cooking, and that's something I would do. Going to a movie theater. I don't know if anybody does that anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it's not
I
as
don't even hear.
common. Yeah.
Right. Doing that. Going to the mall together. Again, it could be something very small. It doesn't have to be anything out of the ordinary.
Well, when my husband and I were dating, he made a whole list of places, things he wanted to do with me. And we used to go to plays a lot, and that was something we enjoyed. Um,
Place. Sure. Sure.
and I even once got
Bike
invited to go
riding.
to, uh-huh, to go to the Magic Castle. And yeah, I invited him to go with me. It was in the beginning, we were dating. And I said, hey, I have an extra ticket to this. I have no idea. I don't know anything about it. And it, even that, the mystery of it, like not knowing what is this all about, made that more exciting and enticing. And we've even done Disneyland. We went to Disneyland. That was one of our like first dates.
I
And
always say Disneyland is not for kids, it's
no,
for adults. Also, I love Disneyland.
yeah.
I would go to Disneyland as a date night or date day anytime,
Yeah, yeah.
or
So,
going on to the beach and just walking on the sand, going bike riding, having a picnic,
yeah, ice skating.
ice skating.
Yeah, roller
Oh,
skating.
roller skating. I used to have roller skates
I
when
did
I was,
too.
yeah, now I don't even dare to
Yeah.
go
I
near
don't
them,
want to deal
but
with injury.
exactly. I'm a responsible adult.
Yeah.
But those are certainly fun. I love flowers,
Me too.
and I know that there are classes where they can
Flower
teach
arranging.
you how to arrange flowers.
Yeah.
I
I've
would
done that with
totally
my
do that.
friends. Yeah.
I would totally do that. That's so much fun.
Yeah.
Taking dance classes.
Yes, that's on my list. That's what I told him I want to do dance classes with you. He's like, you keep saying it, but you don't, put it together. And I'm like, I know, that's
You
something.
should do it. It's
Yeah.
really fun. And it definitely creates a magical moment between the two of you. And then the next time you get invited to a wedding or a party, you do those dance moves, and it just reminds you of all the spark and the magic that you created together.
Right.
It's beautiful.
Even
I
once.
love love.
Yeah,
Love is beautiful.
love is
Love is
beautiful.
beautiful when it's genuine. It's it's a piece of art. It's beautiful.
100%. I remember being at a party with Bobby, and no one was dancing on the dance floor, and I just grabbed his hand. I said, "Let's go." And
Mhm.
and we didn't care who was around, who was watching. We just had fun, and then people just started slowly trickling in. So I think also just being spontaneous and not caring what is going on around you. It's just doing your thing and being yourself and showing your partner, it doesn't matter what anyone else is thinking or doing. This is about us.
And that comes with the self-confidence that I was saying earlier.
Yes.
You don't care about who is around you because you are so confident first with yourself. You have that self-confidence not to be afraid of whether or not people are looking at you or what they're thinking. And you have that confidence. And you have that confidence as a result in the relationship that you chose to be in.
Yes.
And at that point, nothing matters. Nothing else matters. Reminds me of that Metallica song, Nothing Else Matters.
Yeah.
Uh, I love that song.
Yeah.
At that point, nothing else matters. It's just
Right.
you and your partner. And you enjoy being with each other, regardless of where you are, what you're doing, who's around you, who's watching you, who's talking about you. It's just you and your partner, and you cherish one another and the moment that you're creating together. That's love. About to say that, there are relationships that go through rough times. Unless it's a huge deal that cannot be worked on. Most things can be worked on.
Right.
In fact, there was a research that showed 70% of people who end up getting a divorce end up regretting it 100%.
Really.
Yes. I had a supervisor when I was doing my traineeship who told me herself, I'm in that 70% of people, the people that totally regrets doing it.
Mm, yeah. I have a
You
family
know,
member who also she brought it up once.
hmm
Yeah, she regretted. She said if you can make it work, and if he's not, either couple not being abusive or like
Sure,
hurting the person physically, emotionally, whatever, um, to do your best to make it work.
absolutely. And again, that all comes with you working on yourself before entering a relationship. It's so crucial to understand that. And for whoever's watching this now and is single and is trying to be in a serious relationship, please become aware of yourself. Know your strengths, know your weaknesses, know what insecurities you have. Work on them before you enter a relationship. Before you don't ever give any promises that you genuinely know may not be able you may not it may not be able for you to go through with,
Yes.
especially realizing that once you become once you do get married and you enter that serious relationship and then there are children involved, then it's not even about you and your partner anymore. You're responsible for those children, and you certainly don't want to hurt them.
Yes.
And so it's easy to work on yourself before you enter a relationship and truly be honest with yourself. Some people try to be tricky and they go out of their way to trick the other person into their lives.
Mm,
And I'm like, who are you kidding? The first person you're lying to is yourself.
right.
So you trick this person into your life and you end up marrying this person. What's gonna happen at the end? Are you gonna be happy? This is not the person that's truly right for you, to a point where you have to kind of trick them into coming into your life.
Right.
What are you doing to yourself,
Yes.
right?
100%.
And to them, obviously, but this is not going to end up being good for any of you.
No.
Honesty, 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 honesty
Yeah.
is very crucial in being able to have a happy relationship, a relationship that will work and that will last.
I've seen people who um, have kind of embellished or, lied about who they really were. Um, like relationships that I've seen maybe friends in, and they had pretended to be a certain person, and then they get more serious with them and all the truth starts coming out, and then at that point they're like so enmeshed in it, it's hard to get out. So I agree with really getting to know yourself, which entails like therapy or taking classes, seminars. My mom always told me that. She said, don't focus so much on the other person, focus on yourself and heal
Absolutely.
yourself, work on yourself,
Before, absolutely.
and then everything
100%
else,
she's right.
everything else will
Absolutely.
fall into place. Stop pointing the finger, look at yourself. Where are the issues within yourself? Where are the pieces that you need to put back together? And yeah, when we were going through some rough patches, that's when I started. I mean, I was young when I got married. I was 24, and um we were both just kids. And so it was like we basically grew up together.
Which is
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yes. And
Mhm.
at the same time there was a lot of growing pains. And so, my mom's advice on, go and do all these things and then go from there. And that was when I had so many like aha moments, and
Mhm.
the confidence started to kick in, and the seeing who I really was and seeing who my partner really was and what our needs were, and having love for myself,
Mhm.
because I thought like I always had to get love from everyone else to feel validated or feel good. And I feel like, for example, Valentine's Day doesn't have to be about couples. Like it could just be about like maybe if you're single, go out and treat yourself. Like go out
Sure.
and
One,
get buy yourself
absolutely.
flowers. Get
Yes, buy
flowers some
yourself
flowers.
flowers even if it's not Valentine's Day. I love flowers. I'm I'm always getting flowers.
Me too. Thank you again for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this conversation. This was part one of the Love and Creativity podcast episode with Tannaz Talasazan. I hope you enjoyed it, and I can't wait for you to listen to part two, which will be next week. And if you would like to see more of me, you could go to my Instagram at CherylBenji_art. And you could also join the Creative Spirits Facebook group that I have. It's a really beautiful community. I would love to see you there. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.